Michael, since you've produced numerous Batman movies, you've also written numerous Batman comics. What is the difference in the mediums? How can we translate Batman from comic books to live action without making it look with keeping it the integrity of Batman '89 and not so much with Justice League?
Well, I think when you are dealing with comic books, your first feeling is that these are frozen movies and that you can use them as storyboard. That's an easier thing to do in animation, going into that medium from one to the other. But I got to go back to something Tim Burton once told me. And it has to do with the very difficult aspect for a fanboy like me to let go of certain things because they don't translate. And the best story that I can tell on point here was I had wanted Jack Nicholson to play the Joker. I thought he was the only actor circa 1988 who could successfully play the Joker. And when Nicholson was hired, that was like one of the greatest days of my career. And it wasn't more than 10 days later that my executive from Warner Brothers called me, great guy, Michael Bessman, and said, so what do you think of Tim's new idea about having Michael Keaton play Batman? And I laughed. And I said, that's very funny. I said, we're now like 7.5 years into this to do a dark and serious Batman, and now we'll have a comedian play him. I said, that's great. I can see the poster now. Mr. Mom is Batman. It took a good 20 minutes before he could convince me that this was real. And I was apoplectic. I go, 7.5 years of work, almost 8 years now, all down the drain? That now at this late stage, everything was going to fall apart on this dream, on this mission? So I talked to Tim Burton, and Tim said to me, do you agree, since Jack Nicholson's been hired, that we can no longer think about getting an unknown actor to play Batman? I said, I agree. Jack Nicholson would wipe the screen with an unknown actor. He said, okay. He says, as a director, to do the first ever dark and serious superhero movie and to try to get general audiences around the world to believe in it and accept it, I do not know how to take one of today's quote-unquote serious actors and show him getting into a Batman outfit, getting dressed up as a bat, without getting unintentional laughs from the audience. He said, but with Michael Keaton, it's a different story. I said, but he's a comedian. He goes, well, no, first of all, he's a very good serious actor. And they wound up quickly putting together a rough cut of Clean and Sober, the movie, for us to see. And I came out of that, I said, I take it all back. The guy's a great serious actor. I said, but he's like my height. He's got a receding hairline. And he doesn't have the muscles. And he doesn't have the square jaw of Batman. And Tim said to me, Michael, when moving from one medium to another medium, a square jaw does not a Batman make. It's about the humanity of the character. He says, I can cheat the height. We can fix the hair. I can build musculature into a costume. But the fact is that if we're going to do this serious movie of a comic book superhero, it can't be a movie about Batman. I said, what are you talking about? He said, this movie's got to be all about Bruce Wayne. And this is the key to the whole thing. Right here, and at that moment, it was like the greatest epiphany. It was the key to everything. He said, we've got to convince audiences, make them believe in Bruce Wayne. Make them believe that he is a man who is so driven, so obsessed to the point of being psychotic, that yes, that's a guy who would get into a bad suit and go out and fight a guy like the Joker. He says, with Michael Keaton, whom he had worked with, he goes, I know we can do that. I know we can do that. And he was right.